and welcome to Coffee and Me. How's everybody doing? East Coast, West Coast, and everywhere else in between. Glad to see you here. If this is your first time sitting in, my name is Tracey Pacheco Medeiros, and I am a suicide attempt survivor, an author, and an advocate. I am also a suicide loss survivor and an impacted family member and friend to many ideation and attempt survivors. As we step into May's Mental Health Awareness Month, we're continuing in our conversation around suicidal ideation because there is so much misunderstanding and confusion. Um, and also because every year in the US, more than 12 million people experience some form of ideation. For the most part, it often presents itself via anxiety and depression, sadness, a feeling of being a burden or being totally disconnected from family and friends, which means that, you can be in a room full and still feel totally alone. Um, Others, like me, may experience feelings about self harm, which can mean many different things. Dr. John Draper always stresses that suicidal thinking does not make a suicidal make. So I will once again say that we really need to make a radical change in how we support those who experience ideation so we don't lose them to suicide. And many of us who do experience ideation have learned coping skills. Some people call them distractions, and others call these skills soul care. Any way you look at it, recovery can be messy. And there is no such thing as, one size fits all. It's not a cookie cutter thing. So we might work for me, may not help you at all. But if we don't gather around and talk about what does work for each other, um, for each of us, people can feel isolated and disconnected. I continue to be concerned about this because the last CDC report stated that we lost 50,000 souls to suicide. We need to talk more about what helps distract us from suicidal thinking. It took me a long time to figure out what worked for me. And this is just to give you something to think about that you might find that helps you. Nothing, absolutely nothing helps me feel more at peace than riding on my motorcycle. It's the one place I feel totally free. It's my ultimate self care. 2 years ago, I had a freak accident. My motorcycle was destroyed, and they had to amputate my leg to save my life. Despair and depression doesn't begin to describe how I felt. While I do hope to ride again, replacing the motorcycle with a three-wheeler has been a challenge, and I'm working on it to get to that place. In the meantime, I had a choice. I needed to find other ways to distract myself when ideation would creep in, and it does. I found some relief in coloring. Before the accident, I had mentioned to a coworker that I was looking for something new in crafting. I had been coloring and doing some artwork, some woodworking, carvings, and stuff. And she introduced me to diamond art, and I totally fell in love with it. It demands full concentration, and there really is a sense of satisfaction and positive thinking when I see the final art project. This is awesome soul care against negative thinking and ideation. It might sound strange, but the strategy needed for gaming also helps me stay focused and pushes away the negative of ideation. And the kind of games I do are a collaborative team effort. I'm connected to others from all over the world, and I've learned a lot about their customs and their countries. It's it's really a nice little community, and we call it a gaming community. So I'd like to learn what you do for soul care. We do have a Facebook page because I stayed. Feel free to post there anytime. Your soul care might be as simple as taking the dog for a walk or walking yourself. Some people love to run. I often use some boxing to work through my anger because for me, anger can lead to ideation. I keep going back to hearing some parents saying that no one ever talked about what ideation looks and feels like. We need to be more open to help others. And you can experience anxiety and depression or feeling disconnected or that you're a burden and not have suicidal ideation. Maybe your experience is what my friend Sarah often talks about, soul exhaustion. I feel like that sometimes when it's such hard work to keep a balance emotionally. I'm exhausted. I'm tired and I want to give up. And I still need to find a healthy and positive way to distract myself, to do some soul care to help nudge myself away from the darkness. We just don't talk about this publicly enough. Focusing on soul care is not self-centered, self-absorbed, or selfish. Okay? It's the textbook oxygen mask axiom. And we all know what that means, right? It's if we don't take care of ourselves first, we really cannot be of help or support to other people that we care about. And I will also repeat something I say often. I sincerely wish there was more lived experience information like this when I was struggling emotionally after my last attempt 25 years ago. That's why we produced a documentary, A Voice at the Table, 10 years ago. It was a call to action. So is the Because I Stayed series. So let's use Mental Health Awareness Month. Be the ones to break the silence. Go to our Because I Stayed Facebook page and start sharing what you do for soul care so we can share it with other people. And we really want to see some help there if that's okay. All right. So we're all set for today. I'd like to thank everybody for joining me and have a good day. Thank you.